like many people who are doing their shows, Ellen DeGeneres is now doing her show from her $24 million home. And recently she joked about it, writing on Twitter, being in quarantine is like being in jail. It's mostly because I've been wearing the same clothes for 10 days and everyone here is gay. Okay, so that was what she joked on her show. A former NBC Universal executive tweeted that joke on Twitter. And in response to it, there was a woman who uses the Twitter handle Open Mind Texas, who actually called this joke out, because I think a lot of people were kind of like, this is kind of in bad taste because not everyone's got a $24 million mansion to hang out in the middle of a pandemic. And so Open Mind Texas writes, my 19-year-old daughter is considered an essential employee. She's a fast food worker. She's exposed every day. No one cares about Ellen's privileged, pampered butt stuck in her mansion. Show me Ellen working the lines at the grocery store, no mask, no gloves, then I might care. At that point, Mike Singleton, who's the former NBC Universal executive, wrote back and said, your daughter is a hero. And, we've been hearing that statement a lot, and I think that it is true. These are people who are risking quite a bit to work and to provide for all of us, whether it's food, mail, things that we need. And then there was even more truth thrown at him by Open Mind Texas. Then she writes, no, she's a slave of capitalism. She's terrified. I'm terrified. She can't quit because she'd be homeless. She can't come home because she could infect me and her sister. Let's call it what it is. She's not a hero. She's a sacrifice demanded by the elites. So I actually reached out to her because I noticed that she was following me on Twitter, and I wanted to know if there was anything else she wanted to add while we talk about this story. And apparently one of her friends wanted to share a message, and this is what the message was. We need to talk about what happens to these frontline workers once this pandemic has passed. Do we go back to treating them like second-class citizens, such as, oh, they're so important now, but it's over, back to a crappy reality? We need to value people every day, not just when a crisis hits. And I totally agree with her. And, a story related to all of this, Cenk, is that fast food workers in California have begun a strike, and it's affected pretty much every major fast food company in the state. And what they want is beyond reasonable. It's stuff that they should have had from day one. For instance, since they're putting their lives at risk to do this job, they want hazard pay. They also want personal protective gear so they don't contract the virus. And they want, and this is incredibly reasonable, 2 weeks of paid sick leave should they test positive for COVID-19. By the way, at least 3 fast food employees have already tested positive for COVID-19. I'm sure that number is actually higher, though, because testing is still hard to get.
Yeah. So I want to make one point here that is a little different, and then agree with you on some of the most important stuff. So, look, every once in a while, a celebrity makes a joke, and everybody piles on and calls them the worst people alive. I get why people are upset. At the same time, we can get upset about the state of events without thinking that Ellen's the worst person in the world for making what probably appeared to be an innocuous joke in the beginning. And then they go and pile on the guy who called her daughter a hero. He was trying to be a good guy. I get why you I love the tweet from the mom, because she's saying, look, I want you to understand that this isn't about being a hero. It's that we have no choice out here. We just, we need to be able to make a living, and they're making her go to work. And so that's a great, great point. It's such an important point. But I think we can make that point without attacking a guy who is trying to be helpful, or attacking Ellen, who I think was doing a benign joke. Look, if we end all jokes, it's going to be a miserable place to live. So my small defense of Ellen and that and the other guy. Okay, now way more importantly, on the most important stuff. Look, are you kidding me? McDonald's is not offering masks and gloves to their workers. Not only does that endanger them, it endangers everyone who goes to McDonald's. The minute I read that story, I was like, oh, that's it. I'm done with it. There's no way I'd go to McDonald's. Their workers aren't wearing gloves and masks. And so, I mean, that is It's an obvious health hazard. I mean, in the bathrooms, oh, make sure employees wash your hands. But in the middle of coronavirus, go ahead and sneeze all over the food and touch it with your hands without gloves. Are you insane? Of course they should have masks and gloves. And yes, also to protect them. They're human beings. I mean, it is literally the bare minimum you could do to care about your employees, to protect their lives. And they're not willing to do that. I find that unconscionable.
Yeah, I'm proud of them for striking in California, because I mean, it is incredible, because there's a lot of like, I think, look, the whole your daughter's a hero thing, I hear you. I think that he didn't like mean anything bad by it. I think he's trying to be a good person. But the thing is, there's a lot of like talk about, oh, these people are heroes. Oh, these people, thank you so much for working in the middle of this pandemic. But like, let's also discuss action in compensating them for what they're doing appropriately and making sure that they're safe. You know, like there's just a lot of talk always. And we need to like really think about what people are putting on the line just to work. And we also have to think about how a lot of people don't even have the option of staying home during the pandemic, because like the help that's been offered to us by Congress, sure, the unemployment part of that stimulus bill they passed is pretty good. But when you think about how long it's going to take for you to even qualify for those benefits, and how a lot of people have private loans, and those like debt collectors are on their asses right now. A lot of people don't have the option of staying home. And so they're literally risking their lives in order to be able to pay their bills. And it's just a real discussion that I think people are ready to have, which is why Ellen got the kind of reaction she did.
Look, guys, we got our all of our staff out of the office and studios as soon as possible. Now, I get McDonald's is in the food business, but you're going to have your guys go in there without health and without masks and gloves, and then you're going to deny them sick leave if they get coronavirus? Look, it's beyond imagination. Totally unacceptable.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.